So welcome back to the FIFA News Show. This is the show that wraps up all the latest FIFA news over the last week. And today's video is going to be part one for this week. There's been a ton of leaks and all that, because of the beta. So I wanted to do two parts this week. There is a lot to talk about. And today's one's part one. Another few days you'll get part two. But some interesting news this week has come out. As we get closer to the release date of FIFA 21, more news is popping around. And also because of the beta, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. So if you do enjoy the FIFA News Show, make sure you leave a like for me. To get all the latest FIFA 21 news and content, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I'm trying to get to 200,000 by the end of the year, so please help me out by subscribing today. This week, EA released the FIFA 21 closed beta. And if you didn't receive a code by now, it's too late. There's no chance you're going to get a code for the beta. But check your emails just in case, including your spam stuff. Obviously, I can't publish too many things, but I do think the way EA does the betas every year has become a little bit outdated. It doesn't really make sense who they send the codes to and stuff. And half the time, people don't even provide feedback anyway. So I think they should improve the way they do their betas. Now, if you didn't get a code, there is a chance that there could be an open beta for FIFA 21. So FIFA Gamers blog put out a tweet and they said an open beta for FIFA 21. We all know what the EA help service is worth, but we will be watching it closely. So yeah, the EA help service can be a little bit dodgy at times. And the EA worker said you don't need to worry if you haven't received FIFA 21 closed beta code. Soon open beta may also release for FIFA 21 before full game release, on which all users can access open beta with no code required for it, and can share your valuable suggestion and feedback for the game before its release. So yeah, that is a big promise. I mean, we don't know if he knows what he's going on about or not, but if there is an open beta, it would be very, very interesting because I think a lot of people would love to test out the game and play it early. So the past week was pretty crazy in terms of FIFA news. EA dumped a lot of pitch notes, a lot of footage for their game modes in FIFA 21. So for Ultimate Team, we're going to have this Foot Stadium thing, which lets you customize and upgrade your stadiums. They've also done co-op as well for Ultimate Team. For Volta, we're going to have a little story mode called the Debut. They've also added tons of new things in terms of like being able to play squad battles and also playing with friends online. Career mode is looking alright. I mean, they've done a lot of changes. Probably one of the biggest updates in a long, long time to the mode. Unless you play player career mode, which is still probably the same as FIFA 10. So overall, it looks promising with the visual sim, the training, all that kind of positional stuff. And then we have to talk about Pro Clubs. And unfortunately, Pro Clubs was the mode that was pretty neglected this year. And it's pretty bad because EA put out a pitch notes. They called it a deep dive, which is absolutely crazy. And they only released 2 new features for the mode. Now, these 2 features are pretty good. You can edit the AI and you can also do tactics in Pro Clubs. But the problem is, while they're good features, it's not enough changes. And that's why people are mad. It's like career mode getting Visual Sim, which would be a great feature. But then EA says, yeah, that's it. We've just added Visual Sim. Enjoy your FIFA 21 career modes. Everyone would be upset due to the lack of changes. So EA really needs to pick up the pace with Pro Clubs. They've neglected it completely. And it's like player career mode where nothing changes year after year. I don't know, maybe there's not enough numbers, maybe it's not making money, I don't know. I wish they would explain why they're not really doing much with Pro Clubs, because at the moment, it's pretty bad to only have 2 new features in a whole year. So it looks like we're going to get a new stadium in FIFA 21. It looks like Benfica's stadium will be in the game. If you take a look at the Ultimate Team trailer, there was like a little tile that showcased Benfica. If you take a look at this image on the left is the photo from the trailer. It's a real life image. And on the right, it's the same stadium that I looked up on Google and I found that corner of the stadium. So it's pretty accurate to me. Now, I don't know if the Benfica stadium is in the beta or not, but if it's not, it's just the beta. They might have time to throw it in before the release date. But a few months ago, we saw Jota getting scanned in some sort of promo video. So I would expect new faces and probably the stadium in FIFA 21. So PSV and EA announced a partnership back in FIFA 20. So a lot of people going into FIFA 21 were expecting new PSV faces and also the stadium in the game. So Kazooie was a guy who played an early build of FIFA maybe a couple weeks ago now, and one person said PSV head scans in their stadium in FIFA 21. He actually replied to that and said the stadium was not in the beta that he played, but every player except Marlon had a head scan. Now, of course, they can add a stadium in, doesn't really make a difference, but hopefully it's not going to be removed from FIFA 21. Hopefully it is in the game. He also says Madueke not checked, but Ihataren, Dumfries, Doan, Gapco, Rosario, Sadilek, Unestrul, and a few other guys there that you can read. My pronunciation game is weak. They all have face scans apparently. Frankie de Jong does have a scan and Strootman as well, but unfortunately he didn't check a few other guys that he was replying to there. So those were just a few little leaks or hints at new faces coming in FIFA 21. Like I said, hopefully the stadium for PSV makes its way into the game as well. So I've got some faces details for FIFA, and I can't really say probably too much. I can't show too much, but this list that I'm going to talk about today is based on the things I've seen over the last couple of days. Unfortunately, EA has some rules regarding posting footage and stuff, so I'm not going to risk anything, but here are some of the things that I've seen. We've got a Messi face, Ronaldo, Neymar, Bruno Fernandes, some Porto players, St. Maximin, Vardy, Chilwell, and more Leicester players. Arsenal players like Nketiah, Willock, Saka, Tierney, Martinelli, Nelson, Pablo Mari, Benfica players, Lyon players, Marseille players, PSV players, Frenkie de Jong, Williams and Maguire, Alisson, Trent, Van Dijk, Columbus Crew players, Lukaku and Sensi, Haaland and Bergwijn, and more Premier League, Bundesliga and La Liga faces. When I'm allowed to post official stuff, I will definitely do a big compilation of all the new faces. So some media outlets have had access to FIFA 21 early betas, and they've released some previews and stuff, and we get a good understanding of what new things they've added into the game through these impressions here. So this one is coming from a website called biz.blogdaddy or something, I don't know. It says FIFA 21 in preview, will everything finally get better this time? They said we were able to see for ourselves whether they actually succeeded with FIFA 21. The most important innovations of the EA kicker were presented to us in detail during a presentation. Afterwards, we bombarded a 5-member development team with questions and even tried out our first demo. We summarise all important findings in this preview. First of all, the most important data, FIFA 21 will not have a Corona mode, which the media has already speculated about. We want to make sure that we are portraying football at its best and purest, said one of the producers, and for us that means with spectators in the stadium. Accordingly, in the new EA kicker, you will see the usual picture with followers, choreos, and contact between players. There will be no empty ranks or players with mouth and nose protection on the sidelines, despite the developers' claim to reality. So, no Corona mode in FIFA 21 where you have the empty stadium and stuff. Now, the article says that FIFA still relies on Frostbite engine, so don't expect too many graphical changes, but instead, the title comes up with a lot of small detail improvements. The French Ligue 1 in particular has been given new realistic face scans. Now, we don't know if that's like a full league scan or just certain players in certain teams like Lyon or Marseille, something like that. And players now radiate even more emotions. If you score the all-important winning goal in stoppage time, the group lies in each other's arms cheering euphorically, while the opponent sinks to the ground exhausted or the goalkeeper thrashes the ball into their own net in frustration. So little details like that will be in FIFA 21. In addition, FIFA 21 now displays your group lineup in the form of augmented actuality or reality elements directly on the lawn, which brings the staging forward a bit. So this is what the augmented reality could look like in FIFA. This is for the La Liga broadcast package. And you can see that the players pop up. It's sort of like an augmented reality thing. So we could be seeing that for the La Liga, but there's also another augmented reality thing that we saw from the FUT trailer. EA is going with this approach now for the lineups. You can also see the chemistry in between. Now this is an interesting part. It says, during our time with the beta, however, a few compromises caught our eye. EA's activities still do not implement the video assistant referee. Instead of presenting interesting newcomers, the Brazilian, Chilean, and Colombian leagues were apparently removed from the game. Now, we knew about the Colombian league possibly getting removed. The Brazilian one, I mean, most of it was generic anyway. Chilean, I don't know about that one. They must have lost the rights or something. These were no longer available in the kickoff mode. The red pencil was also used in the second Italian division, Serie B. Groups like Empoli or Kiev or Verona can be found under the tab relaxation of the world, mate. I think it's rest of the world, not relaxation of the world. Speaking of Italy, in addition to Juventus, which was already listed as Piemonte Calcio in FIFA 20, AS Roma will also be Roma FC now. So we've got a FIFA 20 squad update to take a look at. This is for the 12th of August, and this one looks pretty interesting because we've got some action for once. And the cool thing is that EA has added in a lot of youngsters into the game, but the bad thing is that some people are saying that they couldn't get this squad update in their game. You can see this guy's got an 84 potential, this guy's playing at United, he's got an 83 potential, and there's so many more players there with some decent potentials. In the remove section, we've got Wagner who gets removed, and some other guys there, nothing too exciting there. In the updated section, there is a lot of updates here, but most of it seems to be like loan deals and stuff, like contracts. And there's also a potential downgrade here for Weghorst, who went to 81 potential. There's a few little potential cuts here and there, but most of it seems to be like contracts and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, the big news was that EA added in a lot of youngsters. The bad news is that some people may not be able to access this in FIFA 20. I think this could be for the FIFA 21 beta. So that is part 1 done and dusted for this week. Make sure you come back in 2 days' time. We're going to be doing part 2. You can also catch this as a podcast. If you search up my name, it'll come up on any podcast site. And if you need something else to watch, make sure you check out this FIFA video. Hit the card in the middle. It'll take you right there. I'll see you next time.